Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining vFairs Epic Events podcast. My guest today has spent years figuring out why buyers says yes and why they don't. He is the CEO of Wynter, a three times founder, and the organizer of the Spring Conference. He is here to talk about how event organizers can stand out and win in an increasingly crowded market. Please welcome Pep Laya. Pep, thank you so
Hey,
much for
it's
being
a
on the podcast.
pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Pep, you recently wrapped up the fourth annual spring conference, and you posted that it taught you a lot about how to sell tickets for any particular event. What was the biggest lesson from this year that you wish more marketers and event organizers understood?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it was this fourth spring event in particular. It's the continuation of every event that I've ever run. I organized my first conference in 2008, so almost 20 years ago. So I did probably 10 years of this event called Elite Camp in Estonia in Europe. And then I did a conversion event called CXL Live for about 10 years, 2014 to 2024. And now I do the spring event. So I've had this experience from multiple conferences. And the lesson is selling tickets is not really getting easier. Every year you think, oh, I have so many return attendees. More people know about the conference. Next year is going to be so easy. And it's not.
And like, why do you think that would be? Is it because people have so many choices? Uh, and I say that because our CMO, and he is into, like, he follows you regularly, and if it's his wish, he would be in every each one of your conference. But again, we all have work, we all have other priorities. But why do you think that's hard?
Yeah, just because there are so many events, and most people attend one or two events per year. So it's like you go to a conference that you really love, and come next year, we're like, I already went to that one. I'll try something else, and then you go to another event. Uh, and there are just so many conferences. Like you open up any industry, let's say marketing conferences, and just see how many events is happening every single month. It's insane. There's so many events you've never heard of, and those events you've never heard of get thousands and thousands of attendees. So
Yeah.
events are very, very competitive, and I should say they are getting more competitive every year. It's because now in the age of AI and remote working and all that stuff, where people are lonely and they want to hang out with other people, events have picked up even more than before. And also, if you look at like how marketing organizations report, like, hey, which tactic like generates leads and opportunities, events is getting events are getting bigger and bigger. So more companies are thinking, oh, I should do my event, and they do. And so yeah, so there's a lot more competition, a lot more choice, and people don't go to that many events per year.
Uh, Given that it's so hard to run an event, and I absolutely agree with you, how do you justify the event internally? Is it more for revenue, for the brand, for the community, for the pipeline, for the customer trust? What's that like? Why do you go through this journey of selling tickets, running an amazing event? Because you have an absolutely amazing brand, right? So anytime any one of us is running an event, it's a risk that we all take to go through that journey, right? So how do you
Yeah.
justify that internally?
So we are not in the business of events. We have a different business model. We're a B2B market research business. And so, yes, it is an extra, but it is, from my perspective, A, it's marketing. It gives us another thing to tell to the market. And it's relationships with existing customers, because we do invite our existing annual customers to attend for free even, so we can build relationships, and then to also plant word of mouth in the room, like when they're talking to other people, oh yeah, we use Winter, blah 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 blah. So those are the two key things. And this there's this other thing where there is still this maybe outdated idea that only big companies put on events. You throw a conference, you must be important.
Yeah,
And really, Winter, we are a relatively small company,
yeah,
but we sell to very large companies. We sell to mid to large enterprises, and then perception is reality to the perceiver.
yeah. You mentioned, and I'm going through your LinkedIn post, that events are marketing and relationship building. You can spend the money on LinkedIn ads, or you can create memorable experience. So I do agree that when you're running events, you're competing with other form of marketing spend that
Mhm.
one can do as a company, as a brand, or so what does Spring do for Winter or your broader brand that you feel that no other marketing channel could do as well? Because LinkedIn ads is easy, press and you're done. Running a conference is hard.
Yeah, it's. I mean, LinkedIn ads is running the ads is easy. Getting ROI, now that's another matter. Well, with the events, attribution is murky. It's not like we throw an event and immediately we sign up, 100 new customers.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. I think it's been. I can think of like maybe one event where we signed like one or two customers right away. Usually, it's a big lag time. I mean, with the existing customers, it really helps with renewals if you personally know the people. Like this relationships in sales and renewals, it's a real thing. In 1952 they said that. It's still true today.
Yeah.
So it's anecdotally that it helps. And then we are mostly inbound lead business model. Like we don't do outbound. So all leads are inbound to Winter. And when we look who is coming, uh, the leads, and we're like, oh, this guy attended 2 years ago, this guy attended 3 years ago. It's like, I'm not saying it's the event that converts people, but it's a touch point and it's significant. It's a 2-day event with also a third, like a pre-day. So a lot of touch points to it's an experience, and you get like 2 or 3 days of brand exposure, which is very different from seeing an ad for a second in your LinkedIn feed, right? So the quality of interaction is very, very different. And yes, I mean, our event is about 200 people,
Yeah.
intentionally because of the format. And we spend, I think our last event was maybe $120,000, $130,000 to cost.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and every year we break even or like make a little bit of money. Or I think one year we lost $2,000. It's basically free. So
Yeah.
spending 100,000 on LinkedIn ads, you're hoping to break even. But I think it's just the quality. Quality is just much superior than running ads.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a question that because you mentioned that you invite your customers for free. Uh, what does that mean? Is it that the tickets are for free, or do you just invite them where their hotel and accommodation is also for free? Uh,
We give them free tickets, and if they are like really juicy key account, we do offer that. Hey, we can also pay for your flight and hotel.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Um, but like even if we offer these things, like just a free ticket, and they have to pay for the travel, their employer often doesn't authorize the expenses. So even if we invite for free, like I want less than half come
Yeah.
because of this. And even if this year we offered key accounts, like we'll also pay for some of the things.
Yeah.
Still, it was like conflict with life, and they have children, and like it's not
Yeah.
easy to like. And
Yeah.
also, the people who attend our events, they are like VPs of large companies, so
Yeah.
these people are well compensated. Yet another free event is not like, oh my god, I get to go for
Yeah.
free. It's
Yeah.
it's not the kind of perk you imagine it to be.
Yeah. Um, what do you think from attendees' perspective? Because as you mentioned, everyone has so many choices of which conference to attend. from an attendee perspective, what's in it for them to attend any event? We'll come to spring in particular, but do you think that the main value of conference today, is it content? Is it relationship? Is it the brand experience? How do you see it, but just from attendee perspective, not from an organizer perspective?
I think it depends a lot on your stage of your career. So if you're new to something, you just started, it's your second year in marketing, knowledge is a big thing. You learn things you didn't know. If you've been around the block, you've been in the business for 15 years or more, you don't travel for content really. I mean, sure, you'll learn an interesting idea or two, but mainly you go to talk shop. It's gonna to meet peers, to build relationships, and fun. Because it is conferences are fun, and at Spring, like fun is a serious business, is how I think about it.
Yeah, and I was about to say that you did mention even in your summary of how the conference went that you optimize for fun, and fun is a serious business. Um, just how do you make it happen? Like, what are some of the things that you would just categorize in that particular bucket? Is it about really just having some of the activities that are fun beyond the conference hours? Or is it during the conference hours, 9 to 6, that there are some just, time blocked where you are just letting people have fun just as groups and so forth? Help me visualize a bit of that.
Yeah, so of course, fun is very subjective. Like what's fun for you is not fun for me. Or some people like this kind of beer, and others like that kind of beer. So
Yeah.
you have to decide. Make a conscious choice. Like, what kind of a person am I trying to please here? Because you cannot please everybody. And I of course look at it through my own personal lens when I attend a conference, other than my own. Like, what are the things I enjoy about it, and what do I don't like about those events? And so fun starts with the venue selection. Because if it's like the traditional, like most conferences, like it's at a hotel conference center, freezing AC, the carpets, the elevators, the escalators, the hotel waits, it feels so impersonal, so not fun. So we do it at a brewery, and it's a huge outdoor space, so it's inside outside. It's very casual, immediate sends like a friendly vibe. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you lived in Austin, it's kind of Austin vibe, like chill. It's chill. So fun starts there, and the fun. If I think about it, that this way, that people leave home to meet other people. Okay, that's the main event, not the speakers on the stage. So I'm making a lot of deliberate space. I'm creating space for people to just hang out and have impromptu conversations.
Yeah, right.
And then I add some social lubricant to it, where it's an open bar since noon all day long. Until from noon to midnight. It's an open bar. And also, food is not when the agenda says it's food. It's
Yeah.
like you can get food at any time, anything you want. You feel like a burger, you go get a burger. Everything is available always. So you can sit with food, with a glass of wine or beer or water, and chill. So that is like the core thesis of
Yeah.
fun.
Can I just double on that? Again, I posted something last week. I went to a conference, and they were giving healthy food, coffee, water for free throughout the conference. And again, my job is to help companies run conferences, and I attend at least 30 conferences a year just because that's what the job is, right? And like this was one of the only events where I saw that the coffee is for free, the water is for free, like a lot of these healthy snacks are for free. And it was such a remarkable experience. And I was like, why not many other conferences do that? Giving coffee for free is not expensive. Giving water bottles, you did that. And again, you're one of the only few people I know who actually provide good food. It looks like for, not just for 1 or 2 hours, but uh, just Tell me a bit more about it. Like, is it a big line item on your P&L when you're doing some of those things?
Sure it is. But like we are not doing this event to make money
Sure.
because we have a different business model. The
Yeah.
event is marketing, and we our event only succeeds if people are actually having a good time, right? That's the metric. People having a good time. Do they tell their friends, "Oh, I had a great time at Spring"? Oh, what's Spring? Oh, it's an event by Winter.
Yeah.
That's what we want them to feel. So this is a deliberate choice. If you don't do all day coffee, which is a crime, or if you don't even provide food, which is like way too many conferences. I
Yeah.
mean, most provide lunch, but like there are some very big ones no won't name that give you nothing.
Yeah.
Um,
Or just
and
very
you're just
expensive
doing it.
options. Just like, when you're trying to buy a water bottle for $8, you don't feel good about buying a water bottle for 7 or $8.
Absolutely. And this is when you know that this company is in the business of making money,
Yeah.
right? And then I mean, I attended a big revenue conference in Austin, 800 people,
Yeah.
and it had like 120 sponsor booths or like 110. And I went around, hey, how much did you pay? How much did you pay? Did math in my head. They made over $1 million in sponsor revenue. Oh, good for them. Also, then how many people at each booth? It's about four. So at an 800 person conference, 400 are sponsors trying to sell you shit. Wow, like did I feel like cattle? Absolutely. It
Yeah.
was atrocious.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 1 hour happy hour and then that's it, go home,
Yeah. Um, I want to step back. When you're trying to promote an event, all starts with a landing page. And, who would know a landing page copy and what converts and what doesn't better than you? Tell us a bit more about, like, what should event marketers should test on their landing pages before spending more time on promoting it. Like, what are some of the choices or decisions that you would have, like, to take when you're trying to set up that page to promote the event, to sell the tickets?
Yeah, I mean, most of it is just plain obvious. Like, I have learned that even like a lot of companies want to put on the up on their landing pages before they have the lineup, before they have the agenda, and it is a good idea, but very few will buy a ticket without the agenda and a speaker lineup.
Okay.
So those things matter. Obviously, every event website has those. It's not a surprise. The thing is, as we discussed, there are so many events, extremely competitive. Events are very very competitive. You need to lead with your ownliness. Like what makes this event different? So we spend quite a lot of time explaining the differentiation and contrasting it against the traditional hotel events. We have a video from a last year's event that is shows you the vibes. Gives you the idea of what you can experience. Um, I mean, most people who come to the event are not is not like cold traffic.
Yeah.
These are people from our email list who or social media followers. So they're not. And I think it's true for most conferences that like very very few people go to an event that they've never heard of before. Like, they found the landing page and now they're buying a ticket. It rarely happens that way.
Yeah. Um, Given what's happening with the AI world, events are happening more than ever. And I like we get a lot of customers trying to launch their first ever flagship event. And again, if they break even, they're absolutely happy. If someone is launching their first flagship event, what should what they should do to get it right before anything else? If you have to pick the top 3 to 5 things that one should really just like keep in mind when trying to run an event. And again, most of them start with that 200 to 300 kind of count, like, because that's kind of a point where you feel that you can move from dinners and lunch or breakfast to actually running a conference. Just few tips, like 3 to 5 tips that you think, if someone is trying to run their
Yeah,
first
it
ever.
really depends if you are, a 20-person company or you are like Salesforce, because the financial means dictate everything. If you're Salesforce, you don't care. You can throw whatever event you want and you can lose whatever amount of money you want. It doesn't make a difference, right? So, but let's assume you're not Salesforce. you're a smaller business where losing money hurts, then before throwing your first event, I would figure out a few things. One is that how can we do this event at a not hotel? Because
Not hotel.
hotels will triple or quadruple your event cost. And that's the biggest risk is let's just losing money. What if you could cut down on costs? Just don't do it at a hotel. Hotels know how to charge money. They are like an amazing example of how to nickel and dime you for everything. Oh, you want AV? Oh, that's 30,000 a day. Oh, you want Wi-Fi? That's 20,000 a day. Oh, you want like every
Yeah,
little thing you assume is a normal thing costs you $1 million.
yeah,
So that's one thing. Second is events are very competitive. So what is your onlyness? What is the new thing that you bring? Because if your idea of let's do a conference where we have a bunch of keynotes and people sit and listen to the talks and then they have a drink and go home, I mean that's every event out there. That's a dead on arrival unless you have insane marketing power, in which case you can sell any kind of event you want and people will come. But if you're unsure if you can sell tickets, like you really need to answer the question, why this? Right? Because people need to choose you over any other event. If you're in marketing, just like in like business competition, the category kings get the most customers. Like Salesforce and HubSpot get most of the CRM revenue. And same with marketing SaaS conferences. Most people go to SaaStr or SaaStock or one of those large SaaS conferences. Those are the defaults. You need to be specifically positioned against those big ones in your category, let's say.
yeah.
So those are the two big things I would say.
I I love the hotel part. I'm not too sure how to always make it happen, but I absolutely agree that if someone can make it happen, that's a big win both from a financial saving perspective as well as just trying to kind of differentiate yourself from all the other conferences. Well, I know that in Austin, it is, yeah, like like it has a lot of those options. Do you think that in general those options should exist pretty much in most big cities, right? Whether it's Vegas or New York, etc., to somehow fit those 200 to 50 people.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in a smaller town, it's very hard to find a venue that has all the things that you need because you do need AV,
Yeah,
and ideally, you want to find a venue that already has it, so you don't need to bring in an external AV company that charges
true.
you an arm and a leg.
Yeah,
And does it have Wi-Fi? Does it have enough kitchen that can support everything? Because if you need to bring in outside catering, again,
yeah,
adds to the cost. There's all these variables. So a city of certain size matters.
yeah,
Also, another thing about cities is like, every organizer thinks, wouldn't it be convenient to organize it in my hometown? I live in Austin. My event is in Austin because it's
great.
convenient for me. I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Uh, However, there are other things. So if you live in a smaller town with that it's harder to get to, it's a major pain in the ass. People don't want to do multiple flights.
yeah,
One year, this is maybe 10 years ago, we wanted to do an event in Austin, but the venue we wanted wasn't available for the dates we wanted. So we had to look for an alternative city. So I chose San Antonio, Texas, because it's close by.
yeah,
Little did I know that a lot of cities in America don't have direct flights to San Antonio. And San Antonio is not exactly the most exciting destination to fly to.
exactly. Yeah,
And so that turned out to be that basically made it much harder to sell tickets because
yeah,
people didn't want to take multiple flights. They didn't want to go to San Antonio.
yeah,
Austin is a destination people want to go to. I mean,
yeah,
New York, people always want to go to New York. I mean, Vegas is the cheapest place of all to throw events, but Vegas, like a lot of people are like max feeling cringe, oh, I
yeah,
don't want to go to Vegas,
yeah, yeah. Well,
unless you're like 21 or something.
I agree. 100%. I think destination plays a big role in any of this. I want to pick your brain on the speakers also. Do you think that say if my CMO is like he wants to attend any conference, let's say spring or something, internally within the company, they always have to justify why I'm going to attend that. It might be for fun, it might be for networking, But I'm not sure how sellable that is if a CMO is going to a CEO saying that, oh, I want to go there because it's going to be fun or I will network a lot. The thing that sells, even though I personally think that networking is the key for any conference. That's where you get the most value. But do you think that speakers list and the content that's going to be out there plays a big role in selling tickets? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think it does have a role, less than it had maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah,
But I think an event without any speakers is a very difficult sell.
yeah,
There was an event, I think last year, that basically kind of like copied Spring. I mean, made it their own version, but they said, okay, no speakers at all. And then I don't know about the selling tickets part. Like nobody really talks about that. But
yeah,
like also the attendee experience was like, oh, it was like too relaxed. I don't
yeah,
know if I would come back here. It was like
yeah,
we're just chilling. So there is a fine line between
yeah,
like. I do think like the back-to-back keynotes all day long is a dead
yeah,
concept. I mean, it's not dead. I mean, there's a lot of conferences like that, but
yeah,
it's if you're gonna do that, it's you could do so much better.
yeah.
So we do just a very few keynotes, and actually we're gonna like reduce the number of keynotes. Um, but like I feel that every day, like we do have a 2 day conference, like the opening should be a keynote, because also in the morning people are awkward, they just woke up, they need
Yeah,
coffee
yeah,
before they warm up to talking to other people, so you
yeah,
do need a structured program there.
yeah. Uh,
um, yeah.
from a networking perspective, you have two different type of people. I know that marketers, in general, are, I would like to assume extrovert. That they may or may not be. Uh, do you sometimes feel that? Did you always just go for the natural flow of networking? People will just meet with each other, or do you try to kind of force networking as part of the conference? I'm not saying just in general about Spring. I'm asking in general about what do you think is the right thing to do? Because I do agree that by the end of the conference, if I've had three, four, five really good conversations, I feel that I have got the ROI back. By being there.
Absolutely. I mean, there are so many peers at every conference that
Exactly.
are working on the same problems as you are, and you
Yeah.
often learn more from those conversations than any keynote.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we do is that we group everybody into, let's call it, into groups.
Yeah.
So we segment attendees by company size, title, and interests. And then we say, hey, all the large enterprise CMOs, you're on this table. And the small company founders, you're at this table. And the sales people, actually, we don't do salespeople, but like marketing, PPC people are at this table. So
Yeah.
you meet your peers at a table, and we give them a prompt, a discussion prompt.
Very
And
nice.
there's a moderator. And then they discuss the topic,
Yeah.
and the point is then that they have the same problems. Somebody has a problem. Somebody already solved that problem. They can exchange ideas and also make friends. Like, hey, you are just like me. Hey, like maybe let's have a beer together after. And we do 4 to 5 rounds of this kind of groupings.
Very nice.
So when they buy a ticket to our event, of
Yeah.
course we know who they are based on the LinkedIn. But then we ask them questions about their problems, their interests, topics they're interested in, and based on that information we make the groupings. And for each round of discussions we try to make sure that they're meeting new people in each round also.
Yeah. No, I like that part. Uh, Again, we all know selling tickets for events is hard. Just in general, have you seen any best practice of getting repeat uh, users to sign up? Well, I'll give you my own example, right? Again, I attend a lot of events, and I always have to pick. But whenever I feel that when you announce your next year conference on the last day of your existing one, and if you're giving an extremely good discount for people to sign up in the next 48 hours or less, like I have signed up a couple of times and then I have realized, oh, by the way, I shouldn't have, because the reality is I have a conflict. But sometimes, if I've already paid $1,000 and I'm there, and like you feel good when you are there. It's an effort, but you feel good. But then if I know that, oh, I can just be the next time there as well for $500 versus $1,000, I do feel that people might just sign up. That's the best time to convert them. Have you tried something like this, or at least as an idea, do you think it might work, or anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I have received those pitches as well at the end of conference, and they can be compelling because it's the timing is good, but it's also so cringy. It is
Okay,
so cringy. It's like one of those internet marketing, buy my course, get instantly rich type of. So personally, it just rubs me the wrong way. I've never gone down that route just
interesting.
because it feels icky, and I don't want to be associated with icky.
Yeah,
Because the reason I'm doing my event is for good vibes, good juju,
yeah,
and I feel that would ruin it.
that's pretty interesting, and I love sometimes like how the values just in general overtake the revenue, which again, that's why you have the successful brand.
Exactly, it's a personal values thing. I'm not, and I might be losing money because of this, but
Sure.
in my heart, I feel it's the right thing to do.
I respect you for that. Um, just your observation, because, and again, I'll share. Are people signing up late now? Which is like, do you sell more tickets more in the last 2 to 4 weeks than the first 2 or 3 months? Just because people don't know, like they're just at the borderline.
Absolutely, I want to say 80% of tickets are sold within the 2 months leading up to the event.
Oh wow,
Um,
I've heard
so
that.
it is like,
Yeah,
yeah, 2 months before the event, you look at your how many event tickets you've sold, and you're like, "Holy shit, are we in trouble?"
yeah.
And then it tends to work out, but it does add some stress.
I was about
I
to say
used to
that.
do
Yeah,
I used to do this event format where I used to for my CXL live events where I used to book a fancy 5-star resort in the middle of nowhere, like outside of big towns.
yeah,
And I'm responsible for picking up the tab for every room and so on. And this, like 500 room hotels, five
yeah,
star, very expensive stuff. And then if you don't sell out, the hotel doesn't care. You're paying for it anyway. Now
yeah,
that was insanely stressful
yeah,
because still people bought the tickets last 2 months.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Um, Tell me a bit more about sponsors, right? Do you feel that sponsors, and I say that because you have very, very high bar for a lot of like values, where clearly those values matter more than the money. But just your take on sponsors, because you mentioned 800 people conference, 400 of them were, somehow sponsors. You
Yeah.
didn't feel right about that part. Uh, but in
Yeah,
the end, in order to provide even better value for your attendees, sometimes you need money for that. Like, what's your take?
absolutely. I mean, sponsors are necessary
Yeah,
because without sponsors, the what you would have to charge per ticket to break even
yeah,
would have to be too high.
yeah,
Like we charge around maybe I don't know $1,000 per ticket or so on. It would need to be maybe not double, but
yeah,
significant 50% more.
yeah,
And so sponsors, yeah, help you make the ticket price more palatable for most people. So they are necessary.
yeah,
Now, sponsors all prefer big events. If you're SaaSter, like
yeah.
SaaS stock, like all, much easier to sell tickets if you say, "Hey, we have 10,000 people." Now for a small event, it's different, and there's a cap on how many sponsors you can even have. Even if you're able to sell more,
Yeah,
like the amount of people, 200 people, it's just is
yeah,
there enough to go around for everybody? Is that worth it?
yeah.
So we do usually up to 5 sponsors,
Uh,
and we used to try booths like traditional ones,
yeah,
but it really didn't fit our event concept, which is like, hey, there's a beer garden and we're just chilling and having conversation, and then there are corporate booths with AE sitting there lonely, and you
Yeah.
feel sad for them.
Yeah.
So it didn't fit the vibe. So we haven't done booths now for 2 years.
Yeah.
So what we do instead is like we do different things. Like they can bring their activation. Somebody hosted an espresso bar. We had an ice cream machine last year, a mechanical bull. Um, but really the value is like when I say like we're grouping people based on topic and profile, company size, title, and those discussions are moderated. So the sponsors can moderate these discussions. Each discussion round is an hour,
Yeah.
and so the sponsor can have sit with their prime ICPs for an hour and talk about a topic important to their ICPs.
Yeah.
And that's it's very valuable. And we have a no pitching rule, but of course it's opt in. Like if they give good advice and so what do you do exactly, and then you can explain what you do, and then later follow up in a private conversation.
Uh,
So that adds value to the sponsors, and it fits the flow of the event.
yeah. I was about to say that we are in the business of course, giving software to companies to run events. The three features that get sold the most, we call that we call that sponsored table talks, which is that
Uh-huh.
you have a topic and people themselves take a seat on that particular table because they want to listen to that topic, contribute to that topic, and so forth. Of course, no one is trying to sell, but you're discussing the problem for which sponsor in most cases is the solution, right? So it just becomes a natural conversation. So I absolutely agree. The other one, by the way, just for listeners, is when sponsors are running side events, but you as an event organizer allow them to promote the side event as part of your app or your agenda and so forth, because the hope for these sponsors is that your audience would show up. So they might be throwing, I know, a late night party, or or whatever, or a dinner and so forth. So we have seen sponsors, they're promoting it anyways, but if you charge them as part of your own stuff, it just allows them to help. And if in a perfect world you can give them guaranteed meetings, somehow sponsors are willing to pay premium for it. So these are the three things that we have seen that get sold the most.
Yeah,
Um,
being creative with the sponsor engagements is the way to go, because people they don't want to be sold to. It's very
exactly.
annoying if
Yeah.
you're walking through these booths and like they're like, hey, they like want to pull you in. Doesn't feel
Yeah.
good, right?
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
sponsors don't want to do that either. Like even from a sponsor's perspective, I think if there are easier, better ways to allow for those activations. If you just last set of questions, you mentioned your ticket as $1,000. We know that SaaStar has around that $1,000 range, and then SaaS Talk has those $1,000 range, and I see Pavilion tickets as like. Is there a price point that just works best when it comes to any conference in journal? Because I see most
yeah, I
of them.
mean,
700 to 1000 is what I see the trend.
it is kind of there is some sort of a what you can charge type of a thing.
Yeah,
And you don't want to lose money, so like making it too cheap is
yeah,
like you're just leaving money on the table kind of. There is a difference if it's a 1 day event versus a 2 day event. For a
sure.
1 day event you need to charge less.
Yeah,
For some of these large conferences like SaaS Stock, yeah, they say it's $1,000, but really 90% is for free,
yeah,
because the attendee is the product there. They have 1,000 sponsors. I don't know how many exactly, but feels
yeah,
like 1,000.
yeah,
And the product is you for the sponsors.
yeah,
So even though, I mean, most people at the event are there for free. You can get
yeah,
so many ways to get a free ticket.
yeah,
But yeah, you can also pay. Some suckers pay too.
yeah. And like, what's your take? Just put yourself as an attendee. Do you prefer nowadays attending big conferences where 10,000 people are going to be there, or do you prefer attending a small 200 to 50 people conference just because that's going to be a lot more intimate and so forth, and just a lot more manageable? Um, How do you see?
Yeah, I used to go to SaaStr every year. I went like 6 years straight, and that's like 20,000. Everybody's there, and I felt like, oh, everybody's there. Like I can talk
Yeah,
to so many people.
yeah,
But the downside is like if everybody is there, the
yeah,
odds that you run into somebody relevant
yeah,
serendipitously are very, very low. So you meticulously need to plan out your event, who you're going to meet, and arrange meetings and dates. And I'm not into that anymore.
yeah,
I used to be, but it's not my vibe anymore. Now I definitely prefer smaller events or events that are very targeted. Like I go based on who is there, and it can
mhm,
be two things. It's people I already know, so it's kind of a friends reunion.
yeah,
Hey, what's up? Or it's my ICPs. It's a CMO event. While CMOs are my buyers, I go there, and that's why I'm going. And I don't really care about the format of the event. I don't really see any talks usually.
yeah,
I'm trying to just be engaged in conversations if possible. Get a group and we sit at a hotel bar and just chat. Because the best networking is not, hey, I'm a CEO of Wynter. We do market research. Nobody wants that. It's just
yeah,
you be a normal, cool dude and you
yeah,
talk about kids and your marriage and like football, like
yeah,
whatever, and
yeah,
that then people trust you and you build an actual relationship.
yeah. Um, Last question. What's your most favorite conference that you actually like to attend every year?
Ooh,
It's a tough one.
that is a tough one. I can't
Looks
say,
like not
man.
many.
Like,
Looks like not many, or maybe too many.
yeah, man. Like, I like my own event the best because I've
Yeah,
designed it the way I like events. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, maybe historically, like what conference come into your mind that you were like, oh, that was fun. I really liked when I was there. Maybe because
Yeah, I
of
mean,
your
as I
friend.
said, I did go to SaaStr for many years in a row. There was
Yeah,
something that attracted me to it.
yeah,
Especially, I liked like during COVID when they did an all outdoor event. I
yeah,
loved that. It was like a music festival, like ACL Live, but it's
yeah.
SaaS.
Yeah,
Like that was
yeah. I
cool.
remember. I'm like you. I went there 6 years in a row, and then I stopped going. I don't know why, but like exactly the same thing. And again, I know exactly when you were saying like the outdoor one because I was there. uh,
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, now when they do it in that county, San Mateo, whatever that place,
Yeah,
it's I mean,
it becomes just too big.
1980s calling it. They lost some magic,
Yeah,
yeah, not my vibe
um,
anymore.
yeah. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. If for our listeners, if they wanna reach out to you, connect you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you and then connect with you?
Oh yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm also on Twitter. Yeah, nobody else by my name. So if you search for Peep Laja, then that's me.
Uh, Thank you everyone for listening in. Thank you, Pep, for being on the podcast. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.